So many years ago, she worked in a post office, and that's where she met the love of her life, Panam, who happens to be in the military. They get married, and everything goes south. Fast forward today, Sarah cannot remember anything in her past. The only thing she sees is an image of people she calls her neighbors making love and having arguments constantly, assuming these people are in a house opposite her window, not knowing all of this was just in her mind. She spent 5 years in jail and so many years in the psychiatry, being fed several drugs just so she'd be able to remember the one thing that is going to take down the current most important man running for the office of the president. So the story starts where we see Sarah, or old Sarah. After so many years, she has been released from the psychiatry with the help of Mrs. Jawal, who is now pretending as Kamsi as a maid in the house. Elections is drawing near, and the first female candidate for the first time realized that she needs to get her opponent out of the way because he has done so many ills, which is not getting him out of the picture. But the one thing which he did that is trying to sabotage democracy years ago is what is going to get him down. Nobody has proof that he was actually the one that did it. The one that had documents to prove what he planned and all that he did, they killed him. But well, he left all the documents with his wife. His wife was taken in as an accomplice. She also left the document with a trusted friend, Miss Eckert. So these people have brought in old Sarah with the help of the CEO of an NGO who was once in the police force. They get her into a setup that looks like her old apartment, making her believe she's still in 1999, just so that she could be able to recall, giving her all the things that will make her remember where she kept the document her husband gave her. So they gave her a typewriter to constantly write out her thoughts. She sits behind a window in a wheelchair, always having a picture of her neighbors, not knowing that these neighbors are just in her mind. After 3 months, almost giving up, Sarah is so pushed that she eventually remembers bits and pieces of what happened, leading her to remember that she had a son and eventually remembering everything. There and then, she realized that the very people she thought were helping her, not all of these people were completely innocent or completely were thinking about her good. That is the story of House of Secrets. Is going to really touch you. It's a story that is made out of pure creativity.
And I found a painting, and it was this beautiful painting. It was the perspective of someone in by the window in a house looking and then seeing a neighboring house. I just started thinking a lot about the painting, and gradually the story started coming to me. I thought about what it would mean if you lost all your memory, but a fraction of that memory is projecting something you remember right in front of you.
If you've watched to this point, comment below secret. Secret for me to know where you were able to watch up to. It also touches on how to deal with vulnerable people, people that have gone through so much, eventually losing their memory, how to get them out of it and be able to help them recover. I'd rate this movie a 7 out of 10. The story was beautiful, had a number of hitches, but it was a good film. I loved the characters. The roles they played were on point. Old Sarah really delivered. This is my first time getting to know her. At a point, I thought it was Inze Ikpe, before taking a closer look and realizing this is Najite Dede. I love her. I have gone to follow her because she really delivered. She put her whole into the movie and she made sure that the character she was given, she put herself into it. Young Sarah, if Irele also delivered. I liked the romance between Panama and young Sarah. These two were portrayed as very strong lovers, very romantic as well, and they really delivered in giving us that. Kate Henshaw was also on point. Also, I loved how they wanted to make everything around Old Sarah look like in the 1990s. How do we manage to get a typewriter and all? Just that it would have been nicer if they wanted her to remember for the typewriter to look a bit older. However, take for instance when Panam was attacked in the train and he was asked to get up and all, and he eventually got up and attacked the policeman that came. He hit the lady and threw her gun off. The other policeman was just watching on, looking on like that. And I was like, is this really a trained policeman? You've been sent to kill someone or to arrest someone, and your other colleagues have been attacked, and all you could do is stand there, point the gun at him. They made it look so convenient. Again, at Mrs. Eckert's house, where they go to retrieve the document, everybody is standing, looking on at the fire, and then Mrs. Eckert mentioned that the documents are hidden in a hole behind her window. Presumably, it's on the floor. And she stated clearly that the fire would not get to it. The next minute, they are talking, and Daniel rushes off into the fire, goes in there, and then unknowingly, another girl standing somewhere, we don't know where she came from, started shouting. A crazy man just ran into the fire. I was like, how did she get there? And what was she doing there? Like, and then there is Daniel. He goes in there, retrieves the document, and I ask myself, how is somebody that doesn't even know what the documents look like was able to find that document? It was a bit too convenient. And again, it was too inconvenient finding Mrs. Eckert on Facebook. Like, this is a woman that, according to, or when we saw her in the fire, she didn't have anybody with her. She was coming out of the house alone. And I was just wondering, how would somebody that feared being found create a Facebook page? Regardless, House of Secrets was a good film, and I'd like you to go watch it and tell me what you think about it. Share with me your expectation, your observations of the movie. Tell me your rating for the movie, and let's get interactive. The name still remains Mame Abnapukia. Drop in the comment section and let's grow this channel.